Hey guys, I just wanted to kind of do a video on something that I see a lot about, and it's not very controversial, but people don't really. It's always kind of a discussion, let's just say. And what that discussion is people will ask, why do you use heavy pound braid for bass fishing? Why do you use, like, for the one rod that I just got, I have 65-pound braid on it. You know, I'm sure people might ask me, might not, but I've seen it been asked. Why is that? Why is that so? Why do you need to use 65-pound braid when you're only handling, let's say, a 2-pound bass, maybe? You know, and I see that point. And it's not a set in stone rule that you have to use braid for certain situations, but when it comes to fishing, for me at least, I'd rather have overkill than be underprepared. You know, um, you can. An argument is, well, I like to fight the fish. I like being able to play with the fish. You know, that's totally fine. People can do that, and fishing's preference anyway. Um, there's certain situations where even when you're using braid, um, it's not necessarily a winching a fish to the boat. It's not like you're just manhandling it a lot of times and you don't get to play the fish. And using braid for just certain instances like punching and frogs, which I'll get to, um, you're going to be in situations where you don't really want to play the fish. You're going to be in mats, you're going to be in by stumps, you're going to be by cover where if a fish that is 5 pounds gets down in there, it's going to be pretty difficult to get it back out. And you want something that can pull a 5 pound bass or fish, with 20 pounds of vegetation, or if it gets behind a stump, you want to be able to winch that fish and flip it over that stump or anything like that. So you want to have something that basically can go into those deep places where big bass live and get them out. Okay. Now I'm not saying you can't do that with 20-pound fluoro or something like that, but why take the chance? If you're going in a situation where basically it's going to be tough to get it out, I want something that I feel like can get it out. And if 65-pound braid can't get a fish out of something, then you probably shouldn't be fishing it anyway. Um, but so, like I said, there's certain situations where you don't have to use braid and you can play the fish in other situations. Um, and like I said, I just like being prepared, and especially like when I'm using when I'm using heavy set hooks, um, compared to, light wire worm hooks or something like that. You want something that has the strength and basically not the stretch, to set those hooks. When you're using things. This is a 4/0 flipping hook. It gets even bigger than that. But when you're using something that thick compared to something that thick, you want to have a backbone. And when it's even paired with a 1 ounce or 3/4 ounce, or even, 2 ounce like they do in Florida a lot, you want to have that strength in your line to be able to, you know, set that hook from 20 yards out or something like that. You want to be able to have the strength where you're you're in control of the hook set for the most part. If you use light wire hooks or light wire line, like let's say fluoro or even monofilament, that stretches, that can be the difference between catching a decent amount of fish or a limit that day and not catching anything. Also, when I'm using it for frogs, it's not a good hookup ratio to begin with, and a lot of it is because you have those heavy set hooks, like I said. So having that backbone to when a fish slams this, and there's a lot of stress on this frog, I want a rod, and especially the reel for the braid. I want to be able to drive that hook home. That's the main important part. Is braid allows you to drive hooks home when a lot of times it's going to be a struggle with other line. Um, it's going back, like I said, it's a preference. There's no right or wrong answer. That's the reason why I use it. I use it for frogs. I use it for thick stuff. Just this past year, I didn't really have that heavy braid. I had 30-pound braid, and I couldn't get it into places and get fish out, you know, like I thought I would, even with 30-pound braid, let alone mono or fluoro or even copolymer. So I like the concept of having heavy pound braid. I just like being over prepared. It's not gonna hurt the fish. It's not gonna rip his face off. You know, it's not gonna be any more detrimental than it would with any other situation. So, um, that's my 2 cents about it. If you guys have any other opinions or anything like that, comment below. I didn't really want to spark an argument. I just kind of wanted to put this on my channel. You know, this is how I feel about it. But yeah, like I said, if you have any comments below, put them down. Like and subscribe. I like to talk to you guys and know what your thoughts are on it. Have a good one. This is Cass and Bass signing off. Stay hooked.